Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, talking fishing. If it's facts about fishing that you want to know, then tune in, folks, cause this is the show. We'll show you all the right bait to use, so sit right back, you got nothing to lose. Doesn't really matter if it's trout or carp, flathead, marlin or a gummy shark. Listen to the guys and you can't go wrong. They'll be talking about fishing till the cows come home. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
And welcome everyone to Talking Fishing. Catch of the Week coming up very shortly. What a variety heading into the Christmas holidays. Unbelievable fishing around the state. And for the first time in Australian political history, can I declare the Minister for Fishing and Boating is in the house. Welcome, Jaala Pulford.
Lovely to be back with you, Dave.
How good is that?
Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it? I'm very excited to be continuing in fisheries, and we've got some big plans to make things easier for people who love getting out on the water in their boats. And so, yeah, it's wonderful. I'm very excited.
It's nearly Christmas holidays. The people are buzzing, aren't they? And getting ready to go fishing and boating and all that sort of stuff. It's a good time of year.
Shops are going crazy. We've had a bit of unstable weather, but that's going to happen during summer. But you know what? It's exciting. It's exciting. Last show, we've got a new fishing and, well, not a new fishing and boating minister, but we've actually got a boating minister, which is unreal. And Charlie, the shops are going off their heads now in the lead up to Christmas.
They are, yeah. Very excited.
They celebrate Christmas at the same time of year up in Shepparton?
Yeah, they do actually.
No, some people describe Shepparton as being a little bit behind.
I know. You get into me about those sorts of things, but yeah, no, we're very excited about the fishing season coming up with a bit of rain up there just of late, which is good. And the rivers are looking excellent. They're looking really good. We've got to sort out a few issues with some of the water flows, but that's all good. And congratulations also.
Congratulations.
With your reappointment and the new folio. It's actually, we're probably not showing enough enthusiasm, are we? We should be.
Well, it's great to get our co-host back.
If we had a studio audience, there'd be a standing ovation.
More from the crowd, I'm sure.
It's very exciting. I mean, we had, there's a huge amount that we'd done with Rec Fishers over the last 4 years, and we really wanted to continue that. Obviously, I was here with the Premier in November, and we had great fun, had a wonderful time talking about our plans if we were re-elected, and in that period, immediately after the election, when the Premier's making his decisions about who he wants doing what jobs, we decided to create a fishing and boating portfolio, put it all together.
Well, not only is it different,
it's going to be great.
Not only is it different, it's the envy of Australia, I can tell you, because through AFTA, Charlie, the national body is saying, how are we ever going to catch up with Victoria now? Because
that's right.
Other states are already envious with the buyout of Port Phillip Bay netters and things like that. They're going, how do we ever catch up now with a Minister for Fishing and Boating?
We're okay if they don't catch us.
We'll keep raising the bar, don't we?
A bit of friendly competition. But we do have lots to be getting on with. So it's less than 3 weeks, or barely 3 weeks since the election. So I was sworn into the new portfolio a couple of weeks ago. All the other parts of my job are new for me. So there's some really early discussions, and I can talk to you tonight about some of those around how we get started on delivering this next list of election commitments.
Don't worry about that.
Stick on the fridge.
We have some lists for you later on.
You're going to need a new fridge, because there's
going to need one of those double doors, one for fishing and one for boating. But before we get into that, folks, let's have a look at what's being caught by the people at home. It's time for Catch of the Week.
Catch of the Week, brought to you by Shimano.
Like I said in the opener before, a very good variety of fish being caught as we lead into the Christmas holidays, and that's going to keep the punters very happy for everyone going away. Let's kick it off. Zach, Lark and the kids are out. Snapper, Coronella, a great recipe for all those people that are going down to Phillippa Island.
That's right.
Coronella is the hotspot at the moment.
I think it's probably safe to say that Coronella is quickly becoming the snapper capital. It just always seems to produce fish.
Is that what you call it? The new snapper capital?
Yeah, well, you'd probably say that Carrum was probably the snapper capital of the previous the previous little bit, but I think Coronella's just about there, to be honest.
Can you say snapper capital
Snapper
3
capital,
times
snapper
really
capital,
fast?
snapper capital, snapper capital. It's because I went to the pub before, and that's why I can.
All right, let's move on, because a lot of people have transitioned from snapper to whiting, and one of those people is Tony Sharp. He got out off Rye on the weekend, and have a look at that lovely bag of King George whiting. After such a difficult season last year, the whiting are back on.
It's insane, because we've heard of, I guess, a couple of areas having the nets dragged through from the netters that are still there. Doesn't seem to bother the whiting this time of year, because tell you what, Big Tone's getting it done.
Yeah,
he's getting it done. Don't worry about him.
He's doing well. Let's keep going. I tell you what, George, can you say this? I'll get you to say all the hard ones, Trelly. I'm not going to say it. George Golovkin. Golovkin?
I'll do.
I think we got that right. George, have a look at the gummy shark there. We'll just call him George. A beautiful gummy shark. Now, George was out with his mate Owen Rutherford, and Owen got a cracking snapper on the same boat, same day, and we might have a look at Owen. There he is. Well done, Owen.
We've got that name
nice
right.
snapper off Karam as well. So I tell you what, it's all good. It's not only Port Phillip and Western Port, boys. Let's head around the regions, and some of these places you just look back on, Jaala, in the last 4 years, the work that you've done. Let's kick it off with Blue Rock Lake.
There's a few familiar names here.
This kid could actually get a job as lead singer of AC/DC when he's a little bit older, with a name like Rusty Axford. But Rusty, he got a couple of beautiful bass out of Blue Rock.
Blue Rock
love the way he's displaying them too. Look at the crossed arms. He's got the gig
Tournament
going. That's right, tournament pose. Oh, yeah, Rusty.
Kayaking heaven, just saying.
You know,
it's a beautiful spot.
You know what I hate?
Such a beautiful spot.
I hate when Travis Dowling gets a good idea. You know when he's come up with that idea to put big trout in the Goulburn River for trout opening?
And then he gets an idea.
Have a look, they're still going. Have a look at this, Jake Durham.
Oh, that's a big fish.
That is a monster fish, and that's one of the ones that was stocked.
They weren't that big when we put them in.
They
were close too.
But yeah, they were. But that's really, that's grown a bit, I reckon.
Charlie, in the background, that's a very flooded river. It must be sitting high.
Yeah, it is actually. You'd see it up to the sort of bottom of the willow trees.
Absolutely,
That fish had a bit of a look on his face like he's going to end up on the panel wall, didn't he?
He got put back.
Yeah.
So those fish have been remarkable. And not only did they set records for that weekend, but here we are in December, 3 months later, and they're still being caught. And they'll be caught by the people at Christmas. You know, the thousands of people that are heading up to Eildon. It's just been a 100% success story. That it was a really good thing. Trelly, you can talk about this one.
Okay.
Oh, you can say it.
You can start
now. Clayton's a regular up our way as far as fishing, and he delves into the manufacture of some of the lures up there, so he's got a really good intel as far as what's going on. Lake Mulwale, look, there's some big fish up there. Again, they all get returned because of the slot limit, which is great. But look at that. You just look at that and you say, that was something out of Amazon.
What would that weigh?
That would probably weigh, I reckon, about 75 £, I reckon. 60.
Can you translate that?
Kilograms?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, sorry. 30 kilos, 35 kilos.
Yeah, big fish.
Oh, you're going to put it in stone.
Yeah.
They're still in stone in Shepparton, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right.
More like 44.
So, great fish, but
this last one excites me because, again, net has come out probably maybe 12, 13 years ago, and you just look at what Lake Tyers has done for fishing down in Gippsland, and at the moment everyone goes past the Gippsland Lakes. Joe Petsky, who works down at Tackle World in Sale. He got 2 crackers, and we've got a few photos here and on the brag mat, and it's just sensational fishing down there. I mean, these are genuine Victorian crocodiles, aren't they?
Yeah, rippers,
so
aren't they?
there's a little secret there, a key if you can spot it.
The lure.
It's a swim bait. It's a swim bait.
Swim bait. Yeah, right.
This is a big thing
Take a snap of that one.
For big flathead now. Swim baits have now moved across, and I guess saltwater guys are fishing them a lot, and the big flathead absolutely love them.
Well, I guess a mullet swimming along the surface in 3 or 4 foot of water.
Systems are full of them.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what they're eating.
Wow. That's a good flathead. If you'd like to send in a pic of your catch of the week, this is what you have to do.
If you want to be like me and have your photo on TV, email your fishing pic to info@ifish.com.au.
Yeah, I want to go fishing.
And coming up next, we talk boat ramps with the Minister for Fishing and Boating, and I think we might be putting some myths to bed straight after this on Talking Fishing.
Talking fishing.
We know what you'd rather be doing.
We know what you've really got in mind.
We know you'd rather be out fishing. And today's the day you're gonna wet a line. 'Cause every day's a good day.
Stop wishing. Every day's a chance to drift away.
Drift away.
Every day's a good day for fishing. See it down and tackle world today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. Nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
And welcome back to Talking Fishing. We are joined in the studio tonight by Jaala Pulford, the newly appointed Minister for Fishing and Boating. And Jaala, in previous years, we've zoomed into your house, zoomed into your kitchen,
Yep.
zoomed in to look at your fridge and have a look at your to-do list on your fridge. Now, you're going to need to buy a bigger fridge, I'm sorry. But
For my new list, it's not one but
well,
two.
you're going to need one of those, those two-door fridges?
Yep.
You need one for boating, one for fishing. So let's...
I'll get that sorted over
Let's
the
over the holidays.
Christmas break.
So let's kick it off. Well, I'm over here, sorry. Let's kick it off and have a look at the boating list. And while it mightn't look like a big list, if you can deliver those 5 things, you're going to be pretty tired, I reckon, in 4 years' time, because they are big.
Yeah, they are big. And so the first of those are allocating all the fees that come from licensing and registration for boats, set them aside and invest them back in improving facilities and safety improvements, those kinds of things. So this is massive. At the moment, all of that licence fee just goes into the general account that's used for all sorts of things. Important things like level crossing removals in schools and hospitals. But we recognise how important this is. We also recognise that with all of the extra people that are fishing and all that extra fishing activity, that there really is quite a bit of pressure on boat ramps, and we wanted to respond to that. So that's certainly going to be a big part of what we'll do. We're still working out the finer details on how we're going to do some of these things, and of course we've just sort of very, very early days in the new term, so we're sort of doing a bit of rearranging of the departments, make sure we've got the right support in the right places. So we're bringing boating and fishing together in a new way. So some of the things that we have to do first, we'll get some advice on whether to establish that Better Boating Fund, whether legislation's the best way to go or whether there's another way to go. The funny thing is with the boat ramps, I'm going to get rid of the fees, the parking fees at all of those. We know people hate those, and we also know that people, have all of those pressures, managing budgets at home, and this is just something we thought we could take off a bit of pressure on household budgets, give people a bit more to play with at the end of the week or the end of the month.
We'll get back to those budgets, because that's a very good point, but the question that I think we've been asked the most since the election, and certainly when some journalist goes and writes an article about the Andrews government backflipping and not going to put all the money back into boating.
That's not us.
It's not, is it?
No. We have, I think, and I think that, the recent election we got, a really strong, really powerful and lovely endorsement from the Victorian community, in no small part because we do what we say we're going to do. And, I remember really early days when we were talking about buying out the nets in Port Phillip Bay. I did have one person who, obviously a few people didn't like that. I had one person say, well, why can't you just be like all the other politicians? And
don't do it.
Yeah, and it's like, that's not how we're going to do this. And really, from the Premier right through everybody in the government, if we say something before an election, we do it afterwards. And so that's just any suggestion that we're not going to deliver on all of those election commitments is just completely false. Some of them are complicated, some of them every dollar.
Every dollar from boat licence and boat registration will go back into boating and safety.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, yes, that's right, and people should take us at our word on that. Now, it's going to take a little bit of time, and we need people to bear with us on some of these things. The boat ramps, for instance, we need to audit them first, and so I've asked the Victorian Fisheries Authority to make a start on this, and we wanted to let you know this tonight. So we're starting with an audit. Now that sounds, you know, I know people want to see work's done on ramps and fees gone yesterday, and we're working on that as fast as we can. But right now, I can't completely tell you how many there are.
No.
Because there are that many different landowners and land managers, even the ones that are on Victorian government land are held by different agencies. So like we've got to start walking before we can run, and literally we're going to count them first, and we're going to check their condition, and then we're going to, you know, map out a pathway for those improvements. And there's a few that we talked about. You know, I know a lot of people have been in contact with us about Mordialloc, for instance, but a number of others that we specifically talked about before the election. But we're going to get that stock take started straight away. You know, all the retailers getting ready for their stock take sale in a week's time. We're stock taking too over this period, and you know, just making sure that we understand exactly what the task is, where the ramps are, what condition they're in, who's managing them, what fees are being collected, how much that's worth, all of these bits and pieces. So we've got to really kind of get down into the nitty-gritty on those bits first.
So the second thing, on the next thing that was on the list, sorry, I'm over here, the second thing that was on the list was establish the Better Boating Fund to facilitate urgent boat ramp upgrades and continual maintenance for Victoria's boating infrastructure. Some of those urgent things, and we get mail on it all the time. How long before you think you'll know what's the priorities? What are the, you know, it might be the 10 urgent ones that need fixing. Is there a time frame on that, or you just really got to wait for that stock take? Yeah,
look, we need to do the stock take first, so that we're making, you know, decisions based on objective facts and, you know, a genuine measure of which ones are in the worst nick and which ones are most urgently needing the upgrades. But that fund is very much about getting those early works done as soon as possible. So the way it works, and by the way it works, I mean not just fishing and boating, but the whole, you know, implementing everything we said we do before the election, you know, whether it's the sort of TAFE, free TAFE courses, or the 3-year-old kinder, or you name it, projects here, there and everywhere. So we all kind of put together our proposals for the budget, and the budget will be brought down in late April, early May, and that's when the money is confirmed for the new financial year. So the financial year we're currently running in is all sort of funded out of the budget from a bit over 6 months ago. So the first bit really that all the ministers and all the, you know, everyone in the government is working on at the moment is just getting all of our bits and pieces lined up to go through that process. And, you know, we're going to do this audit really quickly though, so I want to have that done and that information back to me well in time to be able to give some good advice to the Treasurer and to the Premier and the rest of my colleagues about, you know, which ones we need to do first.
I noticed in one of those little points you've got there, Jaala, you've got obviously you'll do your stock take, and then you have a structured approach to these things, and I see that probably sets it up then for years to come. Like, it doesn't just to go to your term of government or perhaps the next term of government. You're setting up something that says, you know, these things should be attended to before they get to those unrepairable conditions or conditions. So, which is a really good thing for the government to sort of have some sort of, you know, long-term strategy as far as boat ramps and facilities.
Yeah, and look, I think one of the things that people did mark the government well for, you know, when they cast judgment on us all at the end of last month, was thinking a bit further into the future. So not just the here and now, but some of those bigger things that the state needs to really set us up for future generations.
Well, the underground rail is one that you probably you may not be a minister, and the Premier mightn't be the Premier when that is operational.
That's right. So things like that outer suburban rail and the airport rail, things people have been talking about, some of them for a long, long time. But I like to think that our work that we're doing in fishing and boating is about creating a legacy for future generations. So it's not just about fishing for our anglers now, but for the grandkids that haven't even been born yet, and future generations, and really creating something very meaningful and very sustainable. So that's stuff we will take into account as we design that fund, put it together in a way that makes it a really good legacy for people.
Continues on.
Next on the list, and it's the second biggest question that we get asked, is
massively.
When will the boat ramps be free? And some people are still saying, they'll make the launching fee and then they'll introduce a parking.
That's right. I was about to ask exactly the same thing. That's the biggest, I guess, criticism they want to hide behind, the ones that are waiting for something to go wrong, is that launching will be free, that's no worries, but we'll pay double for the parking.
So we're abolishing boat ramp parking and launching fees. That's the commitment, that's the promise.
Yeah, that's right.
And the reason we're doing this is we want to make this a more accessible pastime. We want people to be able to, spend their hard-earned on things other than these kinds of fees. And so the answer to when are the fees going to be gone, we'll do this as quickly as we can, and I suspect, and I'm asking you all to bear with us while we're still working out the finer detail, but I suspect it'll probably be easier for us to move a bit more quickly on some of the ones that are already state government owned and controlled, and then there are others that are not ours, so we'll need to work through that with different land managers. Some are local councils, other types of committee of management structures. So the audit's really about working out all of that as well, which will be really important to inform how we sort of do these next steps. And I know everybody would love to say, right, our Christmas present
give us the
is,
date.
give us the date, like we want this right now. But I promise I will keep you all posted, and we'll let people know as we can. But the funding for this entire package will be part of that budget process, really. So the new financial year,
July 1.
I think would be, as much as I can give an indication now, I would like to think that we'd be able to get some of them, out of the way of people's pockets by the 1st of July.
You mentioned people's budgets earlier on, and boys, you see it all the time as well as I do. It doesn't matter if you own a $10,000 boat or a $30,000 boat. If a pack of pippies is $10, but it's only $8 5 kilometres away, they'll drive to save the $2. And it's those little things in life that, have you got a bit of cash in your pocket to buy some pippies or whatever, and when you get to the ramp and you've got to pay $17, it doesn't matter how much the boat costs. Those are the things that really annoy people. They've got to buy their bait cheap, and they don't want ramp fees. And this is something you talk about that's been a long time coming. This has been coming since the day they invented parking meters. I think whoever invented a parking meter and put it at a boat ramp, it's been a fight ever since then to get rid of them.
Should have got rid of him long time ago.
People work hard, and they've got all of their financial commitments, and whether it's things like houses and cars or stuff for kids, Christmas coming up, it's an expensive time of the year. We understand that, and we want to, in a whole bunch of different ways, help people with their household budgets. So all of that, all of those announcements that were made before the election around solar panels on roofs for homeowners, for renters, things like that. We really did, as we were putting together our plan for this 4 years, we were very conscious that, if we can make it a bit easier for people to help with those costs, some of those kinds of costs that we can help with, then we should try to do it.
We're going to keep moving because they're yelling in our ear. There was 2 other things on the list. Establish a dedicated boating infrastructure authority and provide 8 new casual public berths in Port Phillip Bay. Next time we get you back, we'll just go through that again, the boating list, but we've run out of time on that.
Beautiful.
Coming up next, we look at Jaala's long list for fishing. Next on Talking Fishing.
Talking Fishing.
Spotters, Stephanie speaking.
fishing, we're talking fishing.
And welcome everyone back to Talking Fishing. We are joined in the house by Jaala Pulford, who is the newly appointed Minister for Fishing and Boating. And as we were saying earlier on, the two-door fridge is coming for Christmas. We've done the left-hand side, which is boating. We're now going to move on to the right-hand side. And I tell you what,
it's a full list.
You can make that right-hand door like this is about a 12-foot high fridge.
Yeah.
You won't be able to reach the top shelf, but you will fit the list on the fridge. So
It won't be really ice maker, is it?
It's going to keep me out of trouble the next 4 years for sure.
There's no ice maker, Charlie. There's no room
maker.
for an ice maker on this fridge. So let's have a look at over here. Let's have a look at the fishing list.
Whoa.
And
It's a big one.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, God.
yeah. It's a big list.
You reckon
you
got
got a bit?
glasses.
Yeah. You reckon you got a bit done last time? You've got a lot to do.
Right, no, we're ambitious. We got a bit to do.
Yeah. Now, last term of government, you promised 5 million fish per year.
Yeah.
In your last year, you cracked 6.
Smashed it out of the park.
Went above and
Yeah.
beyond.
Yeah.
But someone set you a target of 10 million fish per year.
I
gonna
set
do that?
us a target of 10 million fish per year. We
How you
thought
gonna do
we'd get ourselves a new native fish hatchery. That'll help.
That will help.
Yeah. So, Shep,
Yeah.
up Charlie's Way, we've identified a few potential locations, and what's going on at the moment is water mapping. That's underway. So
What's water mapping?
started on that, working out where the water is and how the
Okay.
water's going to run through it and work through it. So there's some important work here to do with the Water Authority and the CMA, make sure that that's all, all humming as well as it can, and also efficiently minimises the impact on the other waterways. To identify, so that's all about identifying the best location. So we've got a $27 million rec fishing package that will all be funded over the next few budgets. $7 million of it is for the native fish hatchery. But I was with Charlie the day after we announced that on this show, and we did get to talking. We thought it'd be really nice to design it in a way that is going to be really inviting for school groups and for mad keen anglers to come and sort of see what's going on there. So we need to obviously protect the health of the of the growing and the hatchery. But we did talk about a sort of a ramp walkway, a bit of interactive information. So it's going to be fun to design. That's going to be great.
That's right.
One of the things we talked about, and I'll put my Snobs Creek Advisory Board hat on to try and give you a bit of upfront advice on this. If you're looking at a public interface and wanting people to see the hatchery, there's probably no better way than have a pond out the front that's full of fish and you can actually go and fish it.
That's right.
So imagine if you built a Casey Fields or a Carcarook or a Caulfield Racecourse Lake at the front of it, and people could actually come and, you might only have a bag limit of one, but you could actually, when you go and visit the hatchery, because I don't think it'll ever be like a Snobs Creek open. It used to cost the government a fortune to have someone manned there, and you get a visit, one visitor every 8 days or something.
We've got to get that balance right, where we're using, where we're using the money that's being spent, as effectively as we can, but designing it in a way that means that that's possible. I think is going to be really important.
This, I think. From the plans that I know you drew up a bit of a concept diagram, it looks like the biggest in the southern hemisphere, biggest fish farm in the southern hemisphere.
You'll be able to see it from the moon for sure. So if people want to have a look at this, if people want to refresh their memories of this, you go to the Victorian Fisheries Authority website, and there's this, we had it all on a bit of card, and there's this tiny little MCG there, just to give you an indication of the scale. It's going to be massive.
Wow.
We've got a few spots in mind, and we look forward to landing on a location, hopefully in the next 6 months or so.
There you go. Next on the list is Stock Murray Cod Golden and Silver Perch into suburban lakes. Now that's something different as well.
Yes, we've got a few locations. So Rowville, Lilydale, Carcarook, Casey Fields, Navan Park, Roxburgh, and Melton. And we want to stock some natives, particularly with a view to kids, school holidays, make it nice and accessible for people.
I don't know about up your way. Do they do the trout into some of your local lakes?
Yeah, they do.
So we have people even now saying, can we go down to Casey Fields? And the answer is probably not, because the trout don't like this hot water.
That's right. They're generally not
takes
deep.
Those lakes out.
The suburban lakes are generally not too deep, and I think it's definitely not a knock on we're getting away from trout. It's just our native fish are a lot hardier.
Suited.
They're a lot hardier with our climate, so they deal with the winter as well as they do with the summer, and you can catch them whenever you want.
Yeah.
It's like Albert Park Lake. I mean, some cracker yellowbelly.
Yeah, that's right.
Rippers, up to 10, 12 pound.
Yeah, big fish.
We're getting yelled at to keep moving.
Okay, so just on that, Murray cod, golden perch, silver perch.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll be good.
That is awesome. Lake tyres.
Need some prawns.
King prawns.
Yes.
Have you started the ball rolling on that?
We've started the ball rolling on all of it, so it's
Yeah.
really early days,
Yeah.
of course, you know, like 3 weeks we've been at it,
Yeah.
least, probably less too. We've started the ball rolling on all of it.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to get them in this summer, don't you reckon?
Yeah, I don't know how fast they grow.
Yeah, me either.
I bumped into Blackie.
He knows.
And he knows because so Adam and I were last time we were down there, which was two years ago. And he's just a lovely customer of ours in the shop, but he had his whole family, like the kids, the wife down there, and they just went down there, like, I reckon on that night, 50 other families purely went to Lake Tyres to go prawning.
Prawns.
Yep.
Oh,
And they are die-hard fishermen. Like, it would have killed them not to go fishing, but they were
went
prawning
for the
all
prawning.
night, sleeping during the day.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
What a lifestyle.
I don't know about the growth rate, but I mean, they go and I think the talk is 3 million prawns into there. So, and I think they go in pretty
So
small.
they go into sea monkeys and come out as prawns.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, we're hoping to have some serious action on that by the end of summer.
Yep. Next one on the list. Is compulsory buyout of commercial netters in the Gippsland Lakes. Tell us about that.
One.
Yeah, look, we've heard from people loud and clear, as we did with the buyout in Port Phillip and Corio Bays. We will deal with these 10 licence holders respectfully. We will give them certainty as quickly as we possibly can. I think this will probably need legislation. So just to give you a bit of a sense, so last time we came to government the end of 2014. By the end of 2015, we had the legislation through the Parliament, and then those who opted to get out in year one, which was most of the licence holders, if you recall, was April 2016. Probably not a bad indication of the timeline.
Similar sort of timeline,
I reckon. So
they won't be out by Christmas holidays in 1 week.
No, they won't, because we want to look after these people and make sure that they're done right by. And in that $27 million package, there's a component there that's based on the same idea about how we did Port Phillip and Corio Bay. So compensation for the licence, compensation for gear, and some recognition of effort, because some of those 10 licences are really actively fished, others not so much. So we want to recognise the impact for some of those licence holders will be greater than others. But we've started work on this, early days, but I think the timeline from last time give you a bit of an indication. I would have thought within 18 months some if not all of them will be out.
Beautiful. All right, we must take a break. Coming up next, Kramer's mailbag, and there are some questions that Jaala just doesn't know about yet. And we continue to discuss the fishing list with the Minister for Fishing and Boating, Jaala Pulford, right after this on Talking Fishing.
Talking fishing.
We know what you'd rather be doing.
We know what you've really got in mind.
We know you'd rather be out fishing. And today's the day you're gonna wet a line. 'Cause every day's a good day.
Stop wishing.
Every day's a chance to drift away. Drift away.
Every day's a good day for fishing. See it down and tackle world today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing. We're talking fishing.
Welcome back to Talking Fishing. We are joined tonight by Jaala Pulford, who is the newly appointed Minister for Fishing and Boating. But before we talk to Jaala, let's have a look at some mailbag. Now, boys, just to follow up from 2 weeks ago, we did have the boys from Transport Safety Victoria in the studio.
What was his name?
Big Marty.
Hashtag
Marty.
Even to say old mate. I forget his name.
Marty. No, he's an icon now. He's a Victorian icon.
Well, Marty doesn't watch the show, but Gareth does.
Oh,
so
okay.
Gareth's written in
So we've got
to
a new
Mailbag.
icon then.
No, he's written in. I heard the mailbag question on VHF licensing from last week's show. I'm over here. If you have questions from week to week, then we're just going to ask Gareth. We might have a new session. He's trying to,
Marty's got the boost.
So he goes, your words on VHF licensing were about spot on. There's no licence required to listen, and we encourage boaters to have a VHF radio tuned in to hear weather forecasts and other safety alerts. If you need to use it in a special situation, go ahead. You could be saving someone's life or your own. Or you could be alerting a ship that you are there. Marty also covered marine radio last year, but I can't remember what he said. The advantage, so hang on, it goes on here. Marine Radio Victoria, they monitor channel 16 and 67 24/7 along the coast from South Australia, New South Wales to 20 nautical miles offshore, as well as the two bays and Gippsland Lakes, plus weather forecasts twice a day, hourly safety alerts and radio checks 24/7. So it's a good reason to have it. The advantage of getting a licence, I'm over here, the advantage of getting a licence is that you can register your radio with an MMSI, which is a Maritime Mobile Service Identity Number, and unlock the digital selective calling capabilities of modern radios. This includes linking with the GPS and EPIRB for more reliable emergency calling. So there you go.
Well, there you go.
That answers that. Now let's get into the nitty gritty.
Stay safe on the water, though. Very important.
Now, Jaala, we did put out a call to people that wanted to ask questions. We put out on social media. And we only got about 3 million responses.
I was going to say, how many didn't make the list?
1 million, a lot. 1 million people wrote in asking, could you confirm that all boat rego and boat licence fees will go back into boating?
Done. Yes.
Yes. Okay. No, there's no doubts about it.
Tick.
Yeah, I like
No
a yes
doubts.
answer. Just
Yeah,
a yes.
yes.
Good.
Yeah. 4 million people of the 3 million that wrote in asked when are the boat ramps going to be free.
Yeah.
they just wrote in.
Yep, and yes, working on that as quickly as is humanly possible. First, we're going to do that stock take.
Yep.
We've got to work through who owns which ones, but that will be done in this term.
All right. Scott wrote in and he said, I applied to fisheries 8 months ago for some lobster tags and he's still waiting. Are you able to sort that out tomorrow in the mail?
Yep.
Okay, yes.
You just say yes.
Go on the phone to the VFA and we'll get that sorted.
This is an interesting one, and I hate to put you on the spot for this, but because you mightn't have an answer. But Samantha wrote a really good question. What is Jaala's main goal to achieve over the next 4 years, and what does she want to be remembered by?
Good question.
Oh, wow.
Sorry to have put on notice.
Question.
That's a lovely question.
You don't have to answer it if you haven't thought about it. But
No, I think about it.
yeah.
Yeah, look, I think of all that we've talked about in fishing and in boating. You know, it would be a wonderful thing. Like, we've launched Victoria as a leading destination and a wonderful place to be fishing, and we really want to build on that and just lock in that fantastic, you know, advantage we've got over the rest of the country. Good economic reasons to do it, good social and community reasons to do it. But the thing I think of all of these things on this list is the boat ramp reform.
Yep.
It's going to be complicated. It's going to take a little bit of time, but I think it's going to really transform things for people.
I got the one you'll be remembered by. The Jaala Pulford and Trolleys Cod Hatchery.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, watch out.
Righto.
Watch out.
And you also know you'll always be remembered as the inaugural Minister for Fishing and Boating. So
that's right. I also have responsibility for roads and road safety and the Transport Accident Commission, so lots of work to do there as well. You know, the road safety work's incredibly important, saving people's lives and helping people have less injuries that dramatically and irreversibly change their lives. You know, making our roads safer, helping people get from A to B more quickly so they can spend more time with their families, more time
Get to the
fishing.
boat ramp quicker.
Yes.
So you're pretty busy then.
Bit on. It's
All
a bit on.
right, couple of quick ones before we get back. I think we'll cover this soon, but Peter wrote in, when will we be able to put boats on Tullarup, Hepburn Lagoon, etc.? We're going to cover that in a minute.
Yep.
And Andrew wrote in and said, should Bruce Springsteen tour again?
Oh, hi, Andrew.
I think we both know who Andrew is.
Yeah. We're sitting next to Andrew at Bruce Springsteen, and he said,
Yeah.
You're that one that goes on Talking Fishing, aren't you?
You're
And
the
then-
chick.
His words to me were, that's the chick off Talking Fishing. Sorry to call you that on TV, but...
and then, like, it was a setup, but I don't believe it was. Then, like, some sort of strange series of coincidences. Andrew and I sitting there waiting for the boss to come on.
Yeah.
Dave Kramer walks past. And Andrew says, would you take our photo? So I took a photo of the two of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually thought it was like
That was
your
a
brother or a relative or something like that, but anyway, it was just some drunk that sat next to you. If you'd like to...
with his cup nothing.
If you'd like to write into Kramer's mailbag, this is what you do.
Send your mail to Kramer's Mailbag, PO Box 734, Patterson Lakes, Victoria 3197, or email kramer@ifish.com.au.
Alrighty, now let's get on with the list, the fishing list, and next on the list, or maybe not quite next on the list because we've been told to cull our time a little bit, but next on the list is $2.5 million of new artificial reefs in Port Phillip Bay. That's pretty good.
Yeah. So there's, there's this idea about helping get the kingfish away from the shipping channel, which I think is really interesting.
Unruly direction.
And and a number of other suggestions around about improving habitat. There's been some wonderful work done with the Nature Conservancy group and the Albert Park.
Angling Club, yeah.
Angling Club, they've done some fantastic work on oyster reefs. So we'll have a chat to wreck fishers, anglers, people who've got a view about it, mailbag or contact me in the other slightly more conventional ways. We're sort of open to talking to people about what their ideas are about that, but $2.5 million out of that 27 mil is going to be dedicated to that.
There you go. And just a reminder to everyone that if you want to get in touch with the Minister, it's not through Kramer's mailbag.
Yes, it is.
All right, next.
My email address is on the internet. Yep.
Next on the list is guarantee access for non-powered and electric-powered watercraft in Victorian reservoirs. A lot of people are excited about this.
Adam especially.
Yes.
We're just going to cross off the electric, the
No, we want electric.
What this is going to be. So, non-powered boating, like kayaks and small craft with electric motors on the following waterways: Tullaroop, Lauriston, Hepburn, Barkers Creek, Upper Colaburn and Malmesbury.
That's awesome.
You'll be
pretty
there.
good.
I'll be there. Don't you worry about that.
People are asking
so that's one Minister for Water, Lisa Neville, who I know has been on the show. She'll be working on that. She was the minister responsible for those change in restrictions at Blue Rock. And she's very keen supporter of our wreck fishing policy.
And
she'll
putting
be
water in Tolondo.
Water into Tolondo. So Lisa Neville will be working away on this already, I'm sure. So
another excuse for Lisa to come on the show. I reckon.
She'd love to come back.
She'll be in contact soon. You're also, and this was the words, I guess, of the Premier on the night, maybe consider Tarrago and Devil Bin, but there's a lot of work to do if that was ever going to happen.
Yeah, we'll have a look at those too.
Invest in fishing platforms and fish cleaning tables quickly.
Yep, so some more money for those smaller infrastructure projects so that, we can just, make it easier for people.
Might be a bit easier if boat ramps are under one authority, because that's been the biggest roadblock, I think, is that some management authorities don't want the fish cleaning tables.
Yeah, and that will be
that
that will be one of those things that dealing with that bigger issue will, I think, flush out.
Yep. There's a few more on the list, but next, hotspots, and we continue our chat with Minister for Fishing and Boating, Jaala Pulford, next on Talking Fishing.
Talking fishing.
G'day, Callan here from Paul Worsland's Tackle World Cranbourne. Supercharged batteries have been supplying maintenance-free marine batteries since 2001. The Seamaster Gold range is second to none, delivering superior starting power and reserve capacity. No need to top up with water, truly a fit and forget battery. With up to 2 years replacement warranty, you know you have quality. Your battery is your lifeline. Without it, you're dead in the water because it's bloody hard to push start. I've got a Seamaster battery in my boat. Make yours a Seamaster Gold today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
And now the segment you've all been waiting for.
Hotspots, brought to you by Seamaster Batteries.
And welcome back to Talking Fishing, the all-important hotspots. Everyone heading away for their Christmas holidays very soon, boys. And
Get the pen and paper
the all-important question is, where I'm going is the fish biting. Can I just say it's been a remarkable turnover in the last couple of weeks to King George whiting.
It has.
And if people can get a feed of King George whiting over Christmas, because they're telling us it's $72 a kilo in the markets today. So if you can get a feed of them yourself,
get on it.
Yeah, get on it. All right, let's kick it off. Port Phillip Bay and Rye at the moment. There is a great run of King George whiting. I was out there on the weekend and a real mix of fish starting at about 32 centimetres. So they're that year, probably a year and a half old now. Anywhere up to my best was 39 on the weekend.
Is that unusual that you get a mix of size fish in amongst a session?
Yep. And I'll tell you, the chair of Future Fish on Saturday got a 47 off Rye. So
it's a serious really,
but that's 3 year classes that we're seeing that are it's kind of unusual.
It's cool, though.
It's good. Yeah, it's good. So anyway, Rye's good. Over the other side of the bay, St Leonard's, Charlie, over your neck of the woods. St Leonard's is fishing very well for King George whiting as well.
It has, yeah, that's right. It's sort of happening. Like I say, the last couple of weeks has come on, and even Chris down there and our staff members are getting out. So you go in the morning.
I saw a couple of pics from Chris.
Yeah, you get down there, so they show you a picture of a fish. You go, oh, when'd you get that? Oh, on the way to work. So it's mad. It's good.
I did my first ever nighttime scuba dive last weekend, Saturday night, under the pier at St Leonard's.
Did you really?
And so we traipsed out with all our gear, looking like kind of bit.
We had your photo the other week.
And anyway, so I went back for a bit more training with my son. But my goodness, there are a lot of people there. There are a lot of people on St Leonard's pier fishing like at 10 o'clock Saturday night. It was like it was a great scene. All ages,
Too many shopping trolleys
kids and parents. She's not.
No shopping trolleys, not like shopping.
The population of St Leonard's is going to multiply by 100 in the next week. So a lot of people go there for the holidays.
That's a lovely spot.
Let's keep going over to Western Port, and the Middle Spit is the capital of King George whiting at the moment.
Yep, it is, and it's only going to get better. Started off like a house on fire, like all these other spots we're pointing out, but I think we'll see the longevity of the Middle Spit. That'll just keep going.
Yep, let's keep moving. Tankerton's the next one. Fishing as well, really good down there.
I think I've spoken enough about Tankerton.
No.
I don't think.
Little sleeping place.
For how good it fishes.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Let's head around the regions, and I know there's a lot of water skis heading up to Lake Eildon, Trolley. So specifically, we have said the Delatite Arm is the place to go if you want to get a Murray cod up at Lake Eildon. Yeah,
some big fish being caught up there. Big lures, big swim baits up that way. Look, there's heaps of water, even though you talked about water skis. It's a great...
I know the water skiers usually sleep in a little bit because they do like to have a few the night before. The best time to fish for cod, we'd be out there about 4 in the morning or something?
Yeah, exactly, get that sunrise, for sure. That's the best time.
And to the east of the state, many people going down to the Gippsland Lakes, you just can't go past lake ties. You saw the photos in Catch of the Week. Big, dusky flathead and lake ties. And I think we'll see a mulloway or two caught this Christmas holidays.
And pack your swim baits. I can write this down for when we come back in the new year, Dave. We'll do a segment on big lures for flathead, because it's the new in thing.
It's a new in thing.
All right, let's keep going with the fishing list. And the next one on the list over here is recreational fishing number plates for cars and trailers.
Yeah, so one of the things that I've learnt over 4 years now, starting in this new role, spending lots of time with anglers, talking to you all about fishing, is you're pretty keen. And so we had to have all sorts of fun putting together our list, our plan for fishing for the next 4 years, and we thought, I reckon we could do number plates.
That'll go off.
Yeah,
it just will.
I think it's going to be fun. And so what we're going to do, we really want everyone to be involved in this. So we're kind of putting together a bit of a plan around a competition for what we'll put on them.
What shape they'll be?
Turns out, as the Minister for Roads,
Well, I was going to say, the only roadblock I can see is, do you have to get this past the Minister for Roads?
I think she'll be all right.
You reckon she'll be all right with it?
So I've already had a chat to our friends at Vic Roads. Now, there's some sort of important design elements. Still got to be able to be picked up by all the road safety cameras. Got to be clear enough for everyone.
You'll get done and go, that's a cod fisherman. Is that all they need to identify?
No.
He's eye-winged.
So they've got to be able to be read. They've got to be, of a design that's still serves the purpose of a number plate, but yeah, we'll put in a little bit of something fun.
Yeah.
But we want people to be involved in a competition. So when we get that sorted and we're ready to launch, we'll let you know. You can spread the word for us as well.
I've got a roads question for you.
Oh, yes.
And I know you've been in the job for a long time, Minister for Roads.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Is this a first? Do trailers have custom number plates? Because I don't know that trailers do. I know cars do, and I know I've got one on my motorbike. But is there custom plates now for trailers? And I don't think there is.
Seen one.
No,
so this is a real big thing for the Minister for Roads.
So our I've talked to her about this. Well, the commitment is for cars and for trailers, and
So, for instance, you can have your boat name as your rego, like if it fitted.
So we'll work through the design, make sure it's safe, and make sure it satisfies all of the legal requirements that it needs to. But we'll get them done. So won't be Christmas shopping for this year, but should be Christmas shopping for next year for sure.
Like it.
We're going to skip over a few on the list I know tonight, but next on the list, $200,000 for a recreational fishing tourism plan.
Well, it's funny just talking about Lake Eildon just a few minutes ago, and so whether you're at Lake Eildon, whether you're at the Gippsland Lakes and Lake Tyers, we've talked before about SBT down towards Portland and we're certainly doing everything we can to protect that fishery. But this is really big business for tourism operators. When people are away from home, there's all of those, accommodation, meals, doing some other things while you're in a certain place. And so we really want to take that fishing tourism idea. We've dabbled a little bit with some festivals. We really want to take that to the next level. So we'll work with Visit Victoria on this and with some of those communities that are really into tourism fishing. But people will pack their gear and go to New Zealand. They'll pack their gear, go to Tasmania,
Now we want
places
them to
like
pack their gear and go to
We
Victoria.
want to really make Victoria a fishing holiday destination.
Jaala, can I thank you for coming in because we're running out of time.
It was a pleasure.
Merry Christmas. Congratulations on the new role.
Thank you.
Awesome. 4 years. Now, you've been on 3 times in the last 3 months. We don't expect you to come back every month, but it'd be great to get you back in the new year and once a few things advance, that'd be great.
Well, once we, maybe in a few months when we've got some of these plans a bit more locked down, we'll be able to give you a bit more of a detailed report on how we're going to do things. Particularly, it'd be nice to have a location secured for the native fish hatchery and some of that design work underway on boat ramps.
Love it.
There you go. Cool. That's it for Talking Fishing. We hope you enjoyed the show. It's Christmas next Tuesday, and then we take a break from our live shows returning in February. We will be repeating the best shows for 2018 throughout January, so you'll still get your fix of Talking Fishing each week. A big thanks to Adam, Trelly, Kevin, Jack, Louis, Kim, Matt, Mike, and Tom, who all helped put the show to air. A big thanks to all our sponsors too, but most importantly, a sincere Merry Christmas to you all our viewers who have supported us in 2018. Until we see you next year on Talking Fishing, please stay safe on the water and enjoy your fishing.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. We got all you need, just take a look. Watch those fish jump on your hook. So just relax and take your time. Enjoy the show, then drop us a line. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. Talking fishing.
Have a good weekend, Mr. Walker.
You too, son.